0864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
He's back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion.
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you, and it's the first Monday after football. Happy Labor Day to everybody. But you know, when you work in sports, Labor Day is like one of the easiest shows to do all year because it's college football opening weekend. That means we get to talk about the Ducks and the Bulldogs, and of course, we're getting ready now for Oregon and Ohio State. We'll recap the entire weekend in Oregon athletics. Also, not just football, Oregon volleyball with a couple wins in the state of Texas. And also, how about Graeme Abel and his Oregon soccer team battled back from down 2-0. They tied 2-2 against UC Santa Barbara on Friday. We're going to talk with Graeme Abel coming up. Mario Cristobal just wrapped up his weekly press conference. If you are live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, we'll have that for you in its entirety coming up in a moment as we look back at Fresno State and now turn the page toward Ohio State. It's a 9 a.m. Pacific time kickoff for the Ducks. Wear green if you're making the trip to Columbus. 9 a.m. Pacific time kickoff. That means a 7 a.m. pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network. It is the, quote, big noon kickoff. If you live on the East Coast, it's at noon. It's going to be at noon Eastern time, so 9 a.m. Pacific time for Oregon against Ohio State coming up on Saturday, and what might be the marquee game of the entire weekend. One thing that I want to get to today before we talk actual football, some housekeeping for you because we will be traveling with the team on Thursday. Those of you who watch the show and listen to the show live in the 1 o'clock hour, we're actually going to do the show live from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. on Thursday because we got a plane to catch. The Ducks are going to be practicing in the morning and then heading to Columbus. And then Friday's show, Jerry Jorge and I will be recording ahead of time our picks and our full game preview coming for you this week. Game day at Autzen. It was great to have everybody back. And look, we knew going into it that there would be some speed bumps. I want to start today's show for all of you who are live with us. I've tried my best to keep track of some of the comments and questions and what you want to see improved on the actual game experience. I'm saying for fans that were in Autzen Stadium, I know the concession lines were long. We had some issues with that. How were the lines outside? How did everybody feel being back at Autzen Stadium? In all seriousness, full transparency, I want to spend some time on that today because I know the fan experience is very, very important. In fact, it's the most important thing. And then, of course, we're going to talk about what happened on the field and how the Ducks can improve moving forward. So hit me up in the comment section. I will do my best to keep track of that throughout this first segment. You can find me on Twitter at JoeyMacUO. If I miss anything, find me there. What'd you think? What was it like at Autzen? I know from experience the concession lines were long because when I was coming back up at halftime, the concession lines were longer than I've seen. So we know that's going to be improved. That's something that we're working on in this new age of Oregon game day at Autzen. So let me know. I will do my best to answer some questions, and I want to hear from your feedback. Those of you who filled out the survey, if you scan the QR code with your phone that was on that new scoreboard, just thank you for doing that. This feedback's really important as we try to adapt to, what was a new game day experience at Autzen Stadium. So we will do all of that, and then let's talk about what we saw on the field. I thought Anthony Brown's legs were impressive. Now, the Ducks would probably tell you that they don't really want their quarterback necessarily to be running that much, and the pocket was not as clean as the Ducks would like. That's what Coach Cristobal just got done saying. Again, his full comments in a moment. First 2 touchdowns were to running backs. I thought that was fitting. C.J. Verdell, Travis Dye finding the end zone. And look, the defense forced some turnovers, and the Ducks scored off those turnovers. I think those are your positive takeaways. Fourth quarter was tighter than the Ducks would want it to be. But credit to Oregon for finding a way to improve that run game in the second half. Because in the fourth quarter in particular, the Ducks outgained this Fresno State team 120-38 in the fourth quarter. Now, the offense, I mean, this is an impressive note. 129 of the 187 rushing yards came in the second half. 87 of those were in the fourth quarter for the Ducks. They also recovered 3 fumbles defensively in a game for just the second time since 2014 and extended the winning streak in Autzen Stadium to 13 games. A lot of positives. Now, would you want it to be that close? Maybe not. But now the Ducks are going to learn from that and improve heading into this matchup with Ohio State. I've seen a lot of people talking about the quarterback play and talking about the everything about the offense. Sure, the Ducks would like to score some more points, but give Oregon credit for figuring it out in the fourth quarter to do what they did. One other note that I want to get to before we do the full highlight recap. How about Tom Snee, ladies and gentlemen? Tom Snee, the Ducks named him one of the players of the game. Absolutely, he should be. Tom Snee was really impressive, and we were talking about this in the studio this morning. One of those was a touchback that was only like barely. I mean, we're talking McKill Wright was about a yard into the end zone, tried to jump forward when he grabbed the ball to down it at the 1, didn't quite get his feet out of the end zone. If Tom Snee and the Ducks, maybe not even Tom Snee, if the Ducks execute that coverage better, what an average for Tom Snee. I mean, man, I thought the kicking game was a real positive for the Ducks. So the first game, a lot to learn from. Here's how it sounded. Here's your highlight recap.
Motion man goes left to right, turns, play action, gonna get hit, ball comes out. Ducks can pick it up and score! No, inside the 5. First and goal. He's going to get sacks. He's going to get strips. He's going to disrupt you. Kayvon Thibodeau just forced a fumble to the right. And Verdell's going to get it again, and he's going to fight, get it in for the score. Wasn't easy. No, wasn't easy, but I think the leg pump and the desire to get it in. Here's Brown. Dye to his right. Give it to Dye. Up the middle, walks it in. He equals his touchdown total running from last year. Back to the 33. Back to throw again. Steps, dumps, deep. Going down to the end zone. Catch made. That's a touchdown, baby. That is a touchdown, Johnny Johnson III. What a beautifully thrown ball by Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown, option, keeps, first down run and more. Inside the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Anthony Brown. That's what Brown can do for you. 2 receivers each way on 3rd and 3. Hayner to throw. Pressured, steps up, goes down. Sack Brandon Dorless. Snap and give it to Verdell. Bust up the middle and gets the first down. 22-yard line. That's all he needed, and that will do it for Oregon.
Game recap, Jerry and Jorgie on the call, and can we all just sit here and acknowledge what can Brown do for you? So that was on the 4th and 2 play, right? And credit to Anthony Brown for making a couple guys miss, scoring. I mean, he showed that he can run the ball. Would he like to hit on a few more plays down the field? Absolutely. When Jerry said that, I'll be honest, I was laughing on the sideline. I mean, it was just, I don't know if Jerry planned that one. If that just came out, I mean, that would be very Jerry for it to just come out. But, I mean, Jerry Allen is a national treasure just for that right there. Look, so the Ducks want to be scoring a few more points. Thought that they missed a couple opportunities downfield, missed on some explosive plays. I think that's the big takeaway. The pocket for Anthony Brown, the Ducks would like it to be cleaner. But, man, in the fourth quarter when they needed to run the ball and C.J. Verdell needed to perform really well, that's exactly what happened. Now, a couple things of note, of course, injuries. Drew Mathis, Kayvon Thibodeau saw those guys go down. Troy Franklin was a little dinged up in practice heading into the game. That's why you didn't see him, even though he was listed as the starter, was one of the big topics of conversation heading into the opener. That's why you didn't see Troy Franklin out there for as much as maybe he would have liked. Well, certainly he would have liked. And the Ducks were certainly a different defense when Kayvon Thibodeau exited the game. But as the Ducks adjusted later on in the game without Kayvon Thibodeau, you saw a lot of playmakers making big plays. A couple highlights for me. Noah Sewell, I thought, was really, really good in a couple pass rush situations. And how about Justin Flo replacing Drew Mathis? I mean, just Tim DeRuyter just said that he thought he did well, right? He showed the kind of guy that he is. He's a playmaker. That's what Justin Flo brought to the table. Now, I will say, and this was a good point, I was praising Tom Snee, and Marty Miller said, that's just it. We shouldn't be kicking that much. For sure. If you're a football team, you never want to punt. But let's be real, you're going to have to punt sometimes. And God, is it nice to have a guy like Tom Snee in your back pocket. Elsewhere, I do want to respond to Eric. He said Otzo's bumpkin concessions were a nightmare. Getting in was seamless, though, and way shorter than I expected. Eric, I love to hear that. Thanks for the comment. I've seen a couple of you mention that concessions, and so, the inside story, and this is not going to be making an excuse, the inside story is there's a little bit of a supply chain and worker shortage that we're dealing with, and B, the technology side just didn't work like we wanted it to. So they're adapting. I know the concessions crew, they're going to adapt. They're going to figure this out because the lines were long. We know that. But I'm glad to hear that getting in was quicker than everybody expected. That's great to hear, and I've seen a few of you respond to that sound system. Yeah. Don Essig has never sounded so good. It was great hearing that. So, seriously, though, I want to hear from it. I know that, look, these are things that are going to need to be improved on. We know that. We knew there'd be some speed bumps, so thanks for bearing with us. So the staff's working hard to do everything that they possibly can. Elsewhere for the Ducks on the field, some of your final numbers from that 31-24 win over Fresno State. Anthony Brown officially 15 for 24 for 172 yards and a touchdown. Missed a couple opportunities in the passing game and in the run game, but how about C.J. Verdell? 17 carries, 71 yards. Ducks went to him when they needed to. Travis Dye, 13 for 64, and Anthony Brown had 16 carries for 62 yards. Now, there's something that I want to talk about. I don't know if you want to see Anthony Brown having to run as much as he did. Coach talked about how the offensive line and the way they protected him wasn't as good as they would like. But still, Anthony Brown was able to make plays like on the game-deciding touchdown when he needed to. Do the Ducks need to improve? 100% they do. And no one knows that more than all of the guys that are currently sitting in the war room at the Hatfield-Dowling Complex or in the locker room at the Hatfield-Dowling Complex. For sure, you want to improve. And that's what the Ducks are going to be working on this week. It's first game. And I will say I thought that Fresno State playing a game already was a big advantage. Well, now it's a level playing field heading into Columbus this upcoming weekend. 7 a.m. pregame show, 9 a.m. kickoff Pacific time for the Ducks and the Buckeyes. And then remember, Oregon fans, if you're not making the trip to Columbus, huge volleyball matches this weekend on Friday and Saturday at Matthew Knight Arena. Seriously, you've got 4 perennial top 25 powers at Matthew Knight Arena this weekend. Matt Ulmer's going to join us on the show tomorrow. Encourage you all to head out to Matthew Knight Arena after you tune in to the broadcast for Oregon football. If you're in Eugene, go see this volleyball team because they've got perennial powers in town this weekend for a tournament. Coming up, let's hear from Coach Cristobal. Quick timeout. When we return to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union, Mario Cristobal recapping the weekend, looking ahead to Ohio State. We're going to hear from the head coach himself next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Thanks. I've been waiting to get a new Toyota all year.
Well, right now we've got exciting offers on our lineup of 2021s, like Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tacoma.
Highlander! Jan, do you mind watching Chance?
Oh, okay. Listen, Chance, I run a tight ship, so I don't want any funny business. Who's a good boy? Toyota's National Sales Event is on.
Current offers end September 7th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. A couple more of your comments. Bob mentioned it. Look, Oregon got outgained. Turnovers were the key. Turnovers were the key. In fact, Fresno State's offensive coordinator said that today, that the turnovers were the key. But that's what the Ducks are trying to do defensively. That's what Tim DeRuyter wants to generate. They want to create that havoc. They want to force turnovers. The Ducks certainly did that. No Drew Mathis heading into this week, but boy, Justin Flo was really good. Kayvon Thibodeau still being evaluated, and Jamal Hill and DJ James are available for the Ducks this week. More on all of that with Mario Cristobal in just a moment. I think this is a great point from Eric, an express lane for just alcohol. I totally get that for concessions, and I think that you're not the only – in fact, I know you're not the only one that has suggested that. The concessions group, they're going to have now a couple weeks heading into Stony Brook, and it's going to be better, trust me. We knew that there would be some adjustments and improvements that would need to be made for game day and the experience at Autzen. Fans, just thanks for being with us. And I'm glad that everybody was able to get into the stadium and that didn't take as long as I think everybody thought that it would, which was great. A couple of you in the YouTube comments as well, I just saw, give credit to Fresno State. Absolutely. I think Fresno State being picked fourth in the Mountain West was a travesty. I think they're way better than that, and I think we saw that. I think Fresno State is going to have a pretty good season. So, for sure, I think that they do need to improve, though. There's no doubt. As Tim DeRuyter said, the pass defense needs to improve, and maybe DJ James and Jamal Hill are going to help with that this week. Well, no one cares what I think. Let's hear what the head coach thinks. Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, just wrapped up talking with the media. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, everything that head coach Mario Cristobal had to say.
Okay, so today, obviously Monday, after Sunday's film review and practice, good practice for our guys. Certainly they're enthused about the season, getting game one underneath our belts, looking for lots of areas where we can continue to work on. Some things we got better, some things we need to improve upon more. From an injury standpoint, Drew Mathis is the one to update you guys on. He'll be out for this weekend for sure. Sustained a leg injury, but we hope that it won't be real long term. Aside from that, day to day, I know a lot of guys want to ask about Kayvon and how he's doing. He's improving, so that'll be a day to day thing. And by Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll give you guys an update on him. But looking forward to getting after it. Obviously, guys are watching film. They know we have a tremendous challenge and opportunity coming up this weekend. With that being said, questions.
Mario, you said Tuesday or Wednesday on Kayvon. Is he's getting treatment? Are you trying to work through it, or where is that right now?
Yeah, all that stuff right there. That's what you got rolled upon him. You guys saw it on film. One of their linemen had driven one of our guys into the ground. He rolled into the back of his legs, caught his ankle a little bit. So he has an ankle sprain, and that's what we're working through.
Hey, Mario, obviously you guys are, having to travel to Columbus this week. You're playing, it would be 9 a.m. local time. I'm just curious, what's the preparation like for you guys?
Sure. It's a little bit different in the sense that we'll leave here on Thursday instead after we do our Thursday mental sweat day. And we'll land over there approximately 7, 8 o'clock, get settled in, roll out the, how we need to before we get to bed that night, then have our Fast Friday preparation over there and roll right into the game. So it's, typical what you see of West Coast teams when they travel east. You just go.
A couple weeks ago when DJ and Jamal rejoined the team, you said they'd be unavailable for Fresno State. Is there a status change at all for Ohio State? What's the latest with those two?
They'll be available for this weekend, and they'll be listed on on our organizational chart we release here in a little bit right after this press conference.
Yeah, Coach, the explosion play is one of your biggest concerns. In 6 touchdowns, Ohio State averaged almost 55 yards per touchdown. So is that one of your biggest concerns?
Well, they possess a lot of different weapons on that team, and they make a lot of explosive plays in the run and the pass game. It starts up front too. They have a great offensive line and a great defensive line. The sack fumble certainly turned that game around for them as well. But their ability to protect the quarterback and give them time to scan the field and get the ball down the field, the guys that are really explosive, really fast, and have great ball skills. Yeah, they're a great offense, great football team with elite talent.
Wide receiver Troy Franklin was listed at number 1 on the depth chart going into last week, and we didn't see much of him. He had 0 targets. Was that an injury thing, or was it more of a matchup? What went into that decision?
Yeah, it was. He got nicked up during the week in practice. He was slated to be the starter, has had a great camp, had a great spring, and got nicked up, so he was limited come game time. Now, we feel that throughout the course of the game, he was back to full speed and had a great practice yesterday, so we expect him to be back to normal. But that is a reason why he was limited in terms of his play count.
Coach, with your constantly rotating offensive line, do you ever worry about like the continuity of it not working, or they might not gel together?
No, we don't. We're playing the guys that we feel can play at a high level and guys that can execute what we're trying to get done. At the same time, it prepares us for should there be an injury, should there be some type of issue where guys have to play other positions. The techniques that overlap gives us confidence that they're repping the right stuff in the right spots. So, no, we don't have a concern with that.
Brandon Dorlus did pretty well for you guys on Saturday. I believe he played most of his season last year on the interior. Mostly you guys are moving him out wide a little bit. Can you shed some light on kind of what went into that?
Well, he was pretty versatile for us last year. If you recall, towards the end of the season in the conference championship game, he played a lot of the edge stuff. And the game leading up to that, he played some of the 4-eye, bounced outside to a 5 as well. Very versatile guy, 285 pounds plus that he can move. So he's very explosive. He's got a great feel for the game, both run and pass. He plays with power. He's also athletic enough to make guys miss and affect the quarterback. And he's very intelligent. So that allows for him. It allows for his versatility to be a reality in terms of game day. So, and he's in really good shape. Got a lot of snaps, and we can expect him to play a lot of snaps again this week.
Mario, on KT, is it possible for him to play without practicing at all this week? And with Swinson behind him, with the chance to watch film, what did you see from Braden on a pretty large sample size of plays?
Well, again, playing is going to be dependent upon a guy being able to practice. If a guy can't practice, I don't think it's in his best interest and the team's best interest to put a guy out there that hasn't been able to rep. So we'll take it day by day. In terms of Braden showed that he's going to be and is working on being a really good football player. He, in the run game, did a really good job, -1 assignment. He used his hands really well. He was real good in terms of communication. He affected the passer on a number of different occasions. He played fast, and it's what we expected of him. He's developing into a really good football player, and his role will continue to increase.
Justin Flo, what type of job did you see from him stepping up for Drew in Fresno State, and what will you need to see from him in Ohio State?
Oh, he's a game changer. Like I had almost 15 tackles all over the field, plays with incredible passion, forcing turnovers, really aggressive. He's it's the vision, right? Seeing those guys playing side by side out there, really impressive. And the fact he just doesn't get tired. He just goes. So against an offense like Ohio State, you have to be on point. You have to, from a discipline standpoint, execution standpoint, you can't have any busts. You can't. They'll expose you. They showed that. And, Ohio State's ability to make big plays is a complete, reflection of how precise they are and what they do. They're very well coached. They know what to do, how to do it, why they're doing it that way. And they attack you. They're aggressive. They don't sit back and, kind of hope things happen. Very aggressive in the run game and the pass game. They're creative. They're, again, like I said, they're well coached. So our guys, like anytime you go on the road and you play a great football team, nothing but your best is going to be good enough. And our guys understand that.
You didn't take a lot of shots downfield against Fresno State. How much of that was just maybe Anthony not throwing the football, or how much of it was the offensive line not giving the ample protection to allow him to throw the football, and just game plan?
Well, we try to take a couple. We hit one, missed one coming out. We were in a protection where the mic slipped through and Anthony stepped up, tried to hit the post, missed him. Hit Johnny on one. Real good play by the defensive back. Got a pass interference on another. And then a couple other ones, we just ran out of time. Throw the football, and Anthony ran. So it's always in the game plan. You want to stretch a defense vertically and horizontally. I think sometimes it's a misconception when it's like, well, it wasn't the game plan. No, it's always part of the game plan, and certainly we planned for it. Sometimes it didn't just work out because it either got taken away or maybe we ran out of time to throw the football. But we have confidence in it, and we're going to continue to emphasize it and get better results.
Hey, Coach, and Sonos Latin American Network over here. This weekend, we had 3 upsets by teams outside of the Power 5 against Pac-12 teams. Would you say that is more of an indictment on the Pac-12 and some of its teams declining, or is it only a statement on how much less powerful programs are showing growth and college football is becoming more balanced in general?
Oh, that's a good question. I wish I had time to watch some of those other games. We're so focused on us during the course of the season. But I just think it's a reflection of football that on any Saturday, if you're not playing at your best, that you can and you will get beat. So, and I think what happens is, after a pandemic year where super seniors are in play and a transfer portal is active, teams don't look quite the same at the end of one year and at the start of the next year. So I'm sure all those things factor into it. And sometimes teams just find a way to win. So it's a really good question. And, but I think a lot of things play into that.
Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, meeting with the media here today just a little while ago. Ron asking, my question is, why can't we recruit a 5-star quarterback? We are renting these guys. Ty Thompson is a 5-star quarterback, and he's on the roster for the Ducks. It's really hard to come in, though, and start as a freshman. I mean, you do not see a lot of guys that have been able to do it. You really, really do not see a lot of guys that have been able to do it across college football. Elsewhere, Ducks will continue to get ready for Ohio State now. William was asking, crowd noise louder than announcers. William, I'm not sure what you're talking about on YouTube. Let me know, because obviously as a broadcaster, when the crowd noise is louder than the announcers, that's not good. So let me know what you're referring to. When we come back, we're going to hear more from head coach Mario Cristobal getting ready for Ohio State here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
These are the sounds of a dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. Matt asking a good question. Will we see Seven tote the rock this week? I think that is a good point. You know, Seven McGee was, I think, one of the studs of camp in the return game and on offense in particular. But look, when guys like C.J. Verdell and Travis Dyer in the backfield, it's tough to get guys like a Seven McGee touches. But I think he is a really, really good player. You're going to see a lot more of him over his career here at Oregon. We continue hearing from head coach Mario Cristobal. Every head coach interview this year is brought to you by the William Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on. Mario Cristobal continuing his conversation with the media, previewing Ohio State today.
Mario, how much have you looked forward to this game? I know you were, sick about losing the game last year, but just as a benchmark for the program, everything else.
Well, I mean, if you're a real competitor, you always want to test yourself against the very best. And Ohio State's an elite program from top to bottom, storied program, tremendous history, at a place where they've had tremendous success. So I think, you come to a place like Oregon to have opportunities like this, understanding, the tremendous opportunity it is, the tremendous challenge it is, just going against the very best. I don't think anyone that's ever played football that loves a game for what it is would want anything less than to go up and play against the very best. So we have that opportunity this week.
Hey, Mario, I know that you recruited CJ Stroud some out of high school. Just wondering kind of what stood out to you about him then and kind of what stands out now that you see him within Ohio State's offense.
Oh, yeah, no, he's the guy we recruited. We really wanted here. Poise, accuracy, can improvise, can make plays with his arm, with his feet, complete understanding and command of an offense. Like he showed the other day, he can make every throw. He's really smart. He's a guy that you just watched him, in high school. He understood his protections. He knew where he was protected, where he wasn't. Just overall, just a great player, real difference maker in high school.
Coach, I thought the kicking game in general was a strong suit on Saturday. Tom in particular had some booming punts that kind of maintained some momentum, maybe kept it from going towards Fresno State. Maybe speak about the growth you've seen from both Tom and Camden in particular, and holding off Hunt Henry for this job.
Kicking game was a huge plus on Saturday. I think you hit the nail on the head. Tom flipped the field for us a couple different occasions. We had a chance to down one at the 1 yard line too. And, which tremendous learning opportunity for us also. Tom's worked himself into being a really good punter. And, besides one, maybe two that he liked to have back, he really had a huge impact on the game. So did the coverage units on those particular punts. Also, on the flip side, the kicking battle was really intense because at the end of last year, Cattleman had won it, and rightfully so. And he entered the offseason as a starter. But if you're going to make competition real, you got to let it play out. And even though it went back and forth, there was considerable separation. And so that's why Cam went out there and kicked off. And that's why he went out there for the field goal. And Cam put 4 of 6, I believe, in the end zone as touchbacks. He was 1 for 1 on field goals, got his extra points. So credit to those guys for just working, grinding, sticking to it. They made a tremendous impact on the game.
After watching film from last week, what are some things that you really take away as positives from Anthony Brown, and where do you think that he can get better going forward?
Yeah, Anthony was solid. His decision making, both the run game and the pass game, was fairly high. There's probably 2 in each that he'd like to have back. I thought that when there was pressure in there, when that pocket got compressed, that he found a way to make things happen with his legs. He kept his eyes down the field as well to see if there's a potential opportunity there. Thought his deep ball was spot on. The post ball, of course you'd like a little bit of a better throw, but I mean, a Mike came flat out free and he had to scoot by him and get rid of it before the end smashed him. So, and then you look at the bootleg down at the goal line, even though it's a difficult catch, I mean, he puts it right on the receiver and for what should be a touchdown, what could be a touchdown. So I thought, man, and then at the end of 4th and 2, you put the game in his hands and he comes through with a 32-yard touchdown run. So all in all, just very pleased with him, his progress, the way he attacks it. I want to especially mention his demeanor on the sideline, how he's demanding more of himself and the way that he generates just positivity on the sideline from his linemen, from his wide receivers, just constant juice and energy. He's a real competitor, and he wants to do well. He wants his teammates to do well. And there's nothing, he feels confident where there's nothing that this team can't overcome.
Coach, you've definitely turned this program around and got it headed in the right direction since taking over. Big test with Ohio State this week. What do you want the perception of Oregon to be following this game? What are you hoping for it to be?
Oh, I don't think it changes game to game. Actually, it's always going to be shooting to be the very best and be 1-0 on a weekly basis. I don't think I don't have any slogans, man. I don't I don't have any cool T-shirts that I come up with or whatnot. We're just completely hunkered down all the time, improving and developing our guys, bringing in great talent, working hard. It's what we do. And, opportunities like this these are, you don't get many of these in your lifetime, and that being said, it still comes down to making sure that your processes and your preparation to give your players the very best chance to be successful. That's how we look at it. The focus is not on all the noise surrounding the game. We understood, all summer we had to kind of block out questions that revolved around this game because no one wanted to talk about the first game. Well, now it's game week and this game is finally here. So you acknowledge, that this is a primetime game on a big stage and in front of just about everybody, right, that's watching. And so, you're extremely excited about it, but you know that every ounce of your potential success in a game, play by play, is completely dependent upon your preparation and your focus and your ability to execute, under duress, under pressure. So our guys are excited. We just want to get to work, get the process rolling.
Mario, we talked a little bit about last week about offensive identity. When rubber hit the road there at the end, you turned to CJ a lot, and he came through for you as he has so many times before. You've turned to him to varying degrees in these big games, whether Pac-12 title game in 19, Wisconsin, Auburn, all that season. How do you see his role, his importance as just such a foundational pillar for what your offense is and how important he is entering a game like this?
He's critically important, when you talk about establishing identity, you want to be physical, you want to be balanced. Then you want to score points. And right, the key to making sure you continue to, elevate in this industry is you want to continue to evolve. You want to, if you're on offense, you want to score points. If you're on defense, you want to prevent people from scoring points. So, wrinkles come with that. Schematic changes come with that, coaching changes and adaptations. So we never want to lose our physicality, but we certainly want to be more explosive all the time. We didn't get the explosive plays that we thought we were capable of having in game one, but they're there to be had, and we have to improve upon that. But it starts with basics and fundamentals and techniques and executing. And CJ is a huge part of that because they come in the run game, they come in the pass game, they come sometimes in the form of when he's protecting to get a ball off. So him and Travis, we like to speak of them in the same sentence because those two together, they've played a lot of football for us. We depended on them in big games and big moments, and they've come through. And certainly I know they'll have a great week of preparation.
Kind of along that same line, Mario, you've had a chance to look at the film. How did you grade out the offensive line, the things that you really liked, and maybe some of those things that you need to improve on, especially going against Ohio State?
Sure. Well, things I really like, I like the fourth quarter. I like the fact that they just really just played on edge and got downhill in the run game and protected well. Things you'd like to do better. You'd like to keep the pocket cleaner, right? Be a little bit more consistent on some of the stuff, but they played hard. I was pleased with the fact of how we played. Now, technically and fundamentally, we weren't on point all the time, but there were some really bright moments for some guys and other times that we'd like to have those moments back and execute and perform better. So solid in some senses, need improvement in some other ones, and finish strong.
Speaking with the offensive line, Mario, I think Dawson Jaramillo played 3 snaps against Nevada in 2019. Didn't play at all the rest of the way through 2020, and then was out in the fourth quarter. I think on one of your scores to either tie it or take the lead. Just his play, his development, and what he did against Fresno State.
Yeah, I remember seeing Dawson when I went to his high school. Seeing him at a distance, they told me he was a soccer player, a goalie, that maybe one day he could be a really good offensive lineman. That's several years ago, and I think 2017 upon first arrival. And Dawson, since day one, has always been a dedicated, committed guy, pours himself into the weight room, the film room, total team player, and had an injury a little over a year ago. Rehab, came back strong, had a great offseason, and without a doubt proved himself in camp that he's a guy that can contribute and help us win. So he was put in there because he earned it, and he played well, and he's going to help us win. He's going to keep playing more and more. So really proud of him, excited for him and his future here at Oregon.
That's Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, meeting with the media today, getting ready for the matchup with Ohio State. The official depth chart is out. Justin Flo will be the starter with Drew Mathis out due to injury. Jamal Hill is listed as the backup nickel behind Bennett Williams and Jordan Happel. And then at the boundary cornerback position, DJ James now listed as a three-way starter along with Triquez Bridges and Dante Manning. Other than that, same organizational chart that you saw last week. So the Ducks getting some reinforcements back in the secondary heading into this matchup with Ohio State. Meanwhile, we got Graeme Abel in studio, ladies and gentlemen. Oregon soccer head coach will be with us right after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
What's with Mountain Dew? Mountain Dew is like a zip line of incredible flavor directly into your brain. Mountain Dew is like getting punched in the mouth with pure neon refreshment that creates a neural explosion, sending flavor shards of electric brain pulses into your very core of being. Okay, maybe that's a little over the top, but you get the idea. The fact is, the mind-bending challenge of describing the taste of Mountain Dew is way harder than just experiencing it. That, of course, is easy. Just grab an ice cold Dew, crack it open, and toss them back. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio. It is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Every Monday, we get the opportunity to catch up with Oregon soccer head coach, Graeme Abel. Coach,
how are we doing?
How are things?
They're okay. They're good.
Yeah?
Ready for another fun weekend.
All right, so you guys got down 2-0. I was talking about it earlier on the show today, and you stormed back to draw 2-2 against a pretty good UC Santa Barbara team. You guys are sitting at 2-0-2 now on the season. Recap it for us. What did you see on Friday night?
I mean, first off, we went in at halftime. We spoke about it. We were disappointed just in terms of, we weren't probably at the races when it came to the physical side of the game, and UCSB were, and that was the difference in the first half. And so we spoke at halftime about what we needed to do, made a couple of little switches in terms of overall shape, and got a few players in different positions, and that got a reaction out of the group, and we're able to climb our way back into it. And then when we start to look back at the video, probably should have gone on and won the game.
Do you like the fact that you were able to make those halftime adjustments? That's positive, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we now feel as though within our group we have personnel and we have, characters who can give us different types of things. And I think, I've said it a couple of times now, Sophia Vinas came in, and just her impact in the physical side of the game and changed the game for us.
Physical game, as we talked about.
Yeah.
You score on a PK, though.
Yeah.
You got to love that as a coach, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a, Zoe's flicked it onto Ali, and Ali's done well enough to take the ball around the goalkeeper. I think in I would say last season, we might have squandered that in terms of getting the chance to get the penalty, and it's smart of Ali to leave her legs in there and allow the goalkeeper to take the legs away from her, and then that gives us the penalty, and then, pressure situation to get back into the game, and, Zoe, no problem.
Graeme Abel, Oregon soccer head coach, joining us. Now you're going to head to Texas.
Yeah.
So you're getting ready for a couple matchups with a Texas team. And Oregon Volleyball was just there. Did you guys coordinate that, by the way? Like, they were just in Texas. Now you're going to be in Texas.
No,
it just worked out.
No, we were looking at a good road trip that tested us in different ways. And I obviously know Texas and Baylor from my time when I was in the Big 12, and know that they represent different styles and represent different challenges. And we just thought that it would be good to go out of region, travel, and then try and get a couple of different types of teams that would be, comparable to what we'll see later in the season once we hit the Pac-12 season.
5 o'clock Pacific time in Austin, Texas. So you guys will be on the road on Thursday, I should say, on Thursday at 5 o'clock. What's the report? What do you need to do?
Yeah, again, it's going to be a physical matchup again. It's going to be our ability to move the ball. And we know we're going to create chances. We've done that all season long. And once we get into the final third, we need to make sure we do damage on their end of the field, and then in our end of the field, make sure we're tight and we defend the 18-yard box well.
Longhorn Network for TV coming up on Thursday, and then you guys will stay in Texas. What do you do in between? So you play on Thursday, you got Friday, Saturday, then you're going to be in Waco for a 5 o'clock Pacific time start against Baylor. What do you do in between? How do you approach that as a coach?
We'll get recovery in. We'll get some downtime in as well. Austin's a pretty cool city, so we'll stay there through Saturday. Head up to Waco on Saturday. Get practice in. It's the HGTV shows out there, right? So I'm sure the kids will want to go there.
Oh, not just that, Coach.
Go on.
Not just that. The Dr. Pepper Museum is in
Is it really?
Texas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, found it. Dr. Pepper, the far and away the best beverage ever made. Waco, Texas is where it came from.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, we can do all kinds of cultural things in Texas.
Yeah, myself and Greg Walker, we actually have been to the Dr. Pepper Museum when basketball was there a few years ago. This is what we did. It was
okay,
great.
We just did our travel itinerary. We'll have to revisit it
all
now.
Right.
So.
All right. See, no, yeah, that's actually true. It's the running joke that we had was you've got the university, and then it was always that and Dr. Pepper. But now they've got the HGTV show.
Yeah, they got it. So it's so I'm sure we'll take a trip there.
So those are the 3 pillars of Waco, Texas.
Yeah,
is what we've determined. So that'll be fun. So you guys get a little trips like this, Coach. You want to go out and win the game for sure, but. It's kind of a bonding moment for your team, right? This is the first long road trip.
Yeah, it allows us to go out and and be around one another. And like I said, the last road trip we were on, we were in and out, of San Francisco. So, yeah, we'll get out there, and we'll be, we're not going to get cooked up in the hotel. We obviously experienced that last year, and we'll make sure we take care of the kids with regards to anything COVID related, and we can get out and about and spend some time with one another.
Allie Cook, I want to go back to what you've seen from her, and I get to ask you about her every week. I mean, the 13th of her career, 7th on the Oregon career list when she scored that goal. I mean, just the consistency of being able to score and create opportunities for you. How valuable has that been?
That's one part of Allie. what Allie gives for the team every single game is what's the most impressive thing on the defending side of the ball and the physical side of it. I mean, she there's games when we look at her when she's getting cleaned out left, right, and center, and we're like, wow, she's a tough kid, she's a mentality kid, and then she's obviously got the ability to score goals as well. So I think a lot is highlighted about her as an individual, but it goes back to again another really good team player for us.
Your celebration down the sideline was one of the better things I've ever seen.
I don't know.
It's
not on film, is it? Hopefully.
Well,
it's not. Yeah, let's.
It's.
Hey, I watch our kids all week work for those moments, and we acknowledge what I said earlier. We didn't have a great first half. We acknowledge that as a group, and to claw themselves back into that the way that they did it, and I was just letting loose, so I was kind of happy.
It was tough to see on the live stream, so I'm going to give my highlight version of play-by-play of Coach Abel's sprint down the sideline because it was great. Now, Coach, I got to say, I mean, it's early in the season, but just the pure joy in that moment, that's what it's all about, right?
It is. I mean, again, you watch these kids work for it day in, day out, and they work hard, and they've gone through, we can't forget, they've gone through a tough couple of years, and it's just fun to see them have those moments. I love seeing them celebrating. We love seeing, when we get the pictures afterwards and see the celebration shots. It captures so much, where they just able to let loose. So I think Lisa Peterson turned around to my wife and asked if I'd pulled a muscle. So or
So
something like that. So.
But you've had to have celebrated like that before. I mean,
there's a few celebrations out there where I jump on people's backs and do silly things and land on my knees and yeah.
Have you ever hurt yourself celebrating?
I don't think so.
See,
back then I was an assistant, so the camera was never on me, so it was great.
Yeah. Well, or when the camera saw you, then they never let you go. That's a good camera operator. Trust me.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not out there. So.
Well, all I know is I saw it and it was magical. It was great. Graeme Abel, Oregon soccer head coach, joining us. Bigger picture. These are important non-conference games for you this weekend, aren't they?
Yeah. Again, like I said, because they two really good programs out of the Big 12, out of another Power 5 conference, two different types of opponents that will help us for later down the line. So anytime we go on the road, it's always a tough proposition, but we have the student athletes that can handle that, and we have the student athletes that can set us up for the to get the results that we need.
So what's the in-flight entertainment? What are you doing?
I'll be doing film. That's me. I just got a new battery on my Mac, so I'm all ready to go. I mean, I'm Salt Lake City to Austin. I'm all set up, so I'm sure the kids will do some type of Netflix or something like that. They've got that all taken care of.
I haven't asked you about this yet. I mean, there's such a cultural phenomenon around Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Are you a Ted Lasso fan?
I am. So, I watched the early piece. My wife got mad because she hadn't really watched it, so we had to go back through the first series and do that.
I've been there.
Do that entire piece. Yeah, I wasn't too popular in the Abel household there for a little bit. So, and so yeah, we're getting into it. It's awesome. I mean, considering it started off as a parody almost on NBC, and then they wrote this entire, they're going to have 3 series on it. I think it is. That's what they signed up for.
Season, so.
It's phenomenal and it's funny. And he's Jason Sudeikis does an awesome job with it, and the cast around it. Yeah,
as a soccer guy, I mean, the premise of it, that you get a football coach that doesn't know anything and he's an American, he comes over. I mean, just the whole premise. Do you have an opinion on that? Like, because to me, it's like, as a soccer guy, it's probably kind of like, come on, guys, like.
No, it's just funny, isn't it?
All right.
Listen,
that's all I need to know.
Coaching's coaching. Coaching is people, right? And so I think that's what it highlights. And I think Rob Mullins has sent an email out to the entire coaching staff here at Oregon, just to say, there's so many great lessons from it. I think it was a Wall Street Journal article or something like that, and there are great lessons from it, and. The guy never gets flustered, it seems.
That's right.
So
you influence a lot of young people's lives.
That's for sure. That's what we're here to do.
That's the point.
Win a few games along the way.
Well, I had to ask you that. See, I always got one or two kind of off the beaten path.
Yeah. Fire away.
What's the soccer version of out of left field? Like, in baseball, that's like the analogy, right? It's out of left field. What's the soccer version?
I have no idea.
Just somewhere from out in the stands, I guess.
I don't know if there is one. Yeah, I'd have to think. I can get back to you on that one.
All right.
So.
Graeme Abel, Oregon soccer head coach. Hey, thanks for being here.
As always, thank you.
Thanks for the long stroll across, and best of luck out there. Here's 2 wins, huh?
2 wins, hopefully. Yeah.
All right. Safe travels out to Texas.
Appreciate it.
The Ducks be on the road on Thursday. You can watch them on Longhorn Network with a 5 o'clock start time against Texas. Then on Sunday at 5 o'clock, the Ducks will be taking on Baylor. You can watch it on the Big 12 app as well. When we come back, your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. What else happened around Oregon athletics? A contract extension for an Oregon head coach. More on that in a moment on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, football is back! So consider this your official excuse for always putting football watching first, courtesy of Pepsi. That haircut appointment? Seeing the in-laws for the first time in ages?
It's been so long!
Nope, sorry Susan, not if it's on Sunday. Long story short, after the year we've all had, we think you could use a little football watching. So crack open a Pepsi and cheer your football watching face off. With love, Pepsi. Made for football watching. That's what I like.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s, like go back to college, learn to skateboard. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. At aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a free 3-minute chat with the friendly digital retirement coach, Avo, and receive personalized tips to help boost your savings. Start chatting with Avo today at aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Cider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. We're here inside the Country Financial Studio. Yeah, awesome stuff from Graeme Abel. You know, the Ducks are 2-0-2. Feel like they could have won both of the games that they tied, though from Friday night against UC Santa Barbara, had to battle back from down 2-0, and they did it with a lot of grit there in the second half. So now they got to take that grit on the road to a couple of good teams out in the state of Texas. We'll be keeping you up to date on that over the course of the week. Meanwhile, for Oregon Volleyball, as we take a look at your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill, the schedule is significant for Oregon Volleyball. The Ducks have a number of big-time opponents coming in. They're up to number 11 in the latest coaches poll, and Oregon will be hosting Minnesota, Stanford, and Penn State. Those 4 teams will be playing in 4 different matches, so the Ducks will not play Stanford. They're going to play them in the conference season, though, so don't worry. But the Ducks will have a number of games against Penn State and Minnesota. Oregon will be the late game in both of the situations. So the first one going to start at 4 o'clock. On Friday, it will be Minnesota against Stanford. The Ducks will play Penn State at about 7 o'clock. It will be on Pac-12 Network, and the guys at KWVA, the student radio station here at Oregon, will have the radio call for you as well. Ducks are really looking forward to this matchup, and I'm really looking forward to talking with Coach Ulmer about it tomorrow because, man, these are perennial powers. I mean, Penn State, national championship material. Minnesota, national championship material. Oregon, national championship material. Stanford, national championship material. This is a true showcase of collegiate volleyball, and it's going to be right here in Matthew Knight Arena here in Eugene, Oregon this weekend. So that's Friday and Saturday, 4 and 7. Are the start times for each of those matches on Friday and Saturday. Your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill is always brought to you by Cafe Yum, serving Northwest-inspired catering and takeout for your next gathering or meeting. Menus, cafeyum.com. That contract extension, congratulations to Melissa Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach, extended for another few years. She will be in Eugene a while longer, and we're sure glad. She's our next neighbor down the hall, actually. It's soccer, lacrosse, and then softball here outside the studio. Good stuff. Go Ducks, I'll see you tomorrow.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running?
That's not a faucet. That's a river.